Well, if I was a smart man, I would have done this video 2 days ago when the algorithm was kicking on YouTube. But, ladies and gentlemen, I am not a smart man. So, Twisters. It's a movie about Twisters with Superman. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Do me a massive favor if you're coming in, just hit the like button. I don't care if you're new, you subscribe, whatever. If you want to subscribe, great. But you know what's more important? Hitting that like button. That's way more important. So if this video gets 100 views, I want 100 likes. If we get 200 views, let's get 200 likes. You know, if you're one of those guys that just dislike it because you don't like me, please don't be an asshole. Hit the like button. So anyway, Twisters. Saw it Saturday night, and I want to give my thoughts on the movie Twisters, which is a sequel to the original movie called Twister. Yeah, that's not shocking at all. So right off the bat, I want to kind of hit on that aspect of it. This is a sequel to the original Twisters. However, it has like really no attachment to it. There's like no callbacks, no references other than the censors being called Dorothy. I think they're like Dorothy 4 or Dorothy 5. Other than those censors being named Dorothy, nothing else connects. Like none of these characters are related to characters from the first film. They don't really well, actually not really. They don't reference the first film at all. So this film is something that stands on its own legs other than the title Twisters, and I have to tell you, I respect the hell out of that. I like that. It's not a reboot. It is a sequel. However, it doesn't rely on the past in order to sell it. That was something that like I had a huge problem with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, where Afterlife really focused on the new characters, and the original cast came in at the end to help out, and it had references and stuff. I felt like they overdid it in Frozen Empire. A lot of times today, we really just kind of throw the member berries all over the place. Like, remember this, remember that, remember this, remember that. And that's great if done right. I thought Afterlife did it phenomenally. However, a lot of movies, they kind of like go overboard. Like, member berry, member berry, remember. And Twisters didn't do that. Like, it's clearly in the same world. It's clearly a sequel. However, it doesn't rely on that first film to sell it. It's like, look, everybody knows what Twister is. A lot of people saw it, if not everybody's seen it. You know, even kids today just being born or in like their teens and 20s, their parents probably showed them the original film. So like you're just relying, this movie relies on giant twisters to sell the movie. I mean, there's not even that many big name actors. Like Glenn Powell is probably the biggest name in this movie, and let's be honest, when they were filming it, he wasn't a big name. Glenn Powell just blew up like a year ago, right? Like he started blowing up a year ago. He's got movies on Netflix. He did that movie with Cindy Sweeney, Anyone But You, which I thought was a funny, like just adorable comedy that I really enjoyed seeing. That was my first introduction to him. So he wasn't a megastar, but now he's starting to get noticed. So back when they filmed this movie, Glenn Powell was not a big name. So they're not relying on star power to sell this movie. They're relying on nostalgia, people knowing what the original film is, and the twisters in action to basically sell this movie. Even the main actress, Daisy Edgar-Jones, this is her first big role. The only thing I've ever seen her in prior to this is a small indie movie called Where the Crawdads Sing, which I highly recommend it. I think it's a phenomenal movie. A lot of people probably, it's not their cup of tea. It's very character-based, story-driven. But that was my first introduction to her. So I was actually surprised that she got like this big role. So I feel like her career is going to start to catapult now, because I think she is a phenomenal actress. So I think her career is going to catapult, and Glenn Powell is already on the rise now. So what I enjoyed about this movie was it wasn't constantly hitting you over the head with the original film. Yes, the plot kind of similar, but for the most part, they're relying on tornadoes, word of mouth, and people that seen the original film going, hey, I want to see a sequel. So I'm glad that none of the characters connected. There was no characters return. There was no references. You got Dorothy, and that's it. That's it, guys. And you got the new Superman in there, who's basically an asshole, which I really, really like. David Cornsweet. This is my first time seeing him in anything, and I thought he was absolutely hilarious. So what is the plot of this film? In the first film, the whole point of the film was for these chasers to get these sensors up, Dorothy, these sensors up, so they can start tracking the tornadoes. Well, Kate, Daisy's character, she came up with this experiment and this project to where she wants to kind of like have absorbent sucked up into the twisters, which will which will basically destroy a twister, which will actually just absolutely destroy the twister. And basically what this absorbent is, it's a powder absorbent, much like you find inside a kid's diaper, a baby's diaper. And like when the baby goes to the bathroom, the absorbent sucks it up. She has barrels of this stuff, and when it gets sucked up in the tornado, it's going to kill the tornado. That's the point. Just for the record, this would never work in a million years. Back in the day when I worked at Walmart, we had barrels and barrels and barrels of this stuff because we used it for spills. We threw it out and it would absorb up the spills. Now, when this stuff gets absorbed, it crystallizes. So you can't just suck it up into a tornado, break up a tornado. Like there would just be crystals everywhere. Like it would just never work. But you go into the movie to, suspend your disbelief. You're going in to see cool stuff, and I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I was surprised how much I enjoyed this movie. Like I was like, man, I like the original. Can't wait to go see this one. The time flew by. The runtime just flew by. There's like I think there's like 3 major set pieces in the first act, second act, third act. Really well done. Like the writing, it's what you would expect from an action film. Like it's a disaster action film that we would be accustomed to in the 90s. There are things in this movie that like logically could never happen. Like Kate pointing at a swimming pool and going, let's go there. And then when you get there, you find out there's a big hole in the side of the swimming pool and they hold on to the poles inside the hole. Well, she didn't see that hole from the shelter movie theater. Like she didn't see it from the theater, right? So she just ran into the pool hoping there was going to be a hole. Anyway, those are the type of things you just kind of like, whatever, man. I know what type of movie I'm getting. Give me some more peanut butter M&Ms, okay? And I really, really enjoyed this movie. I thought the cast was great. I like the fact that in the first film, you're following the ragtag group of tornado chasers, and the corporate chasers are the bad guys. In this movie, the roles are kind of reversed, whereas you're following the corporate guys, and the ragtag guys are sort of the antagonists. And that they kind of play with that in and out of the movie, like who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, and stuff like that. But it was a great movie. I really thought all the action scenes were great. The story, simplistic, works for what they were trying to do. Let's throw baby diaper absorbents up in the sky and hope for the best, but it works. It works for this movie. And the one thing I appreciate more than anything is the fact that they don't hit you over the head with social politics or LGBTQRWXYZ. I don't know if they're throwing numbers in that thing yet or not, but 69, there's none of that. This feels like an old school action movie, and that's what we want. Like, that's why Top Gun Maverick made so much money, because it's just a throwback to what people want to see. We want to see like old school action movies. We don't go to a movie to deal with the same crap we deal outside. We go to escape reality. We don't go there to see more reality crap, So, yeah, I absolutely had a fantastic time seeing this movie. It's doing great in the box office, too. I think it hit 80 million this past weekend. Don't know what the budget is, but that is fantastic. And like I said, I do think Daisy Edgar-Jones, her star is rising. Glenn Powell's on the rise. Even Anthony Ramos, who plays Kate's friend in this one, he's been in some things lately, too. He seems to be like everywhere, Transformers and whatnot. So definitely a lot of these cast members are going to be up on the rise. And if you just want to see a simplistic movie about twisters and it happens to have Superman in it, then this is the movie for you guys. So I definitely highly recommend it. Have you seen it yet? Do you plan to see it? Be sure to leave those comments in the comment box below. Smash that like and subscribe button. And thank you all so very much. Until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and that's my opinion. Later, guys.